So you got a houseplant. Good for you. Don't overwater your plant. Water it only when the soil is dried out. So check the soil. Is it dry? Good. Okay, water it now thoroughly. Oh, you're bottle watering. Fancy. Plants will like that. That'll fully saturate the soil. But don't let them get wet feet. You'll rot it like that.
It's too much water.
Okay, but this plant likes to be consistently moist, so wet feet is kind of okay for this one. Oh, but that one doesn't like to be consistently moist, so don't leave water in that saucer. But you still need to water it thoroughly. Don't water that one again until the soil's mostly dry. Nope, it's not ready yet. The soil's so moist. No, I said to wait until it dries out. Come back later. Nope, I said wait. Still not ready. Nice try. Now you underwatered it and it's dead.
Houseplant care, especially when it comes to watering plants, can seem very conflicting and confusing, but I'm going to show you how I maintain watering for my bajillion houseplants, including those in self-watering setups. Speaking of which, I'm going to unbox one now. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Oh. That's a big plant. Looks like a husband problem to me. Some of you might know that I actually already have this exact same bird of paradise in a self-watering pot in my house already, but this is actually for a friend. And this friend has 2 houseplants in her entire house, and of the 2 that she has, one of them got infested with mealy bugs. It was so disgusting. I looked at it under a microscope. Ugh. I'm going to give this one to her because it's super easy. It's in a self-watering pot and you just need to refill the reservoir. Self-watering setups sometimes get a bad rep, but there are very specific things that I do to make sure that I can successfully grow plants in pots without drainage like this. Let me show you how it works. So this specific plant is in an EasyPlant, and how it works is this is the reservoir where you fill in with water, and inside here is a wick. And that cotton wick is going to slowly water the plant and saturate that soil over time. But the trick is that you don't want this reservoir full 24/7. And that's a common mistake that people make, is they're constantly just always keeping water in the reservoir. I only refill this reservoir once it's completely empty, the soil is all dried out, and the plant is showing signs of thirst. So when those 3 things are present, I know it's time to refill that reservoir. So it really depends on your environment on how quickly you need to refill the reservoir. Look at my monstera. I got this about a year ago and she's exploded in growth. She needs water every 2 weeks, whereas this bird of paradise needs water once a month. This one is the EasyPlant pot, but not the original plant. I put in propagated pothos cuttings in here and it's so long. I need to trim it. Look how cute my cactus is. This one takes about a month and a half before I refill the reservoir. And the most common criticism that I've seen about self-watering setups is you'll get root rot. I personally, in my experience, have never gotten root rot in self-watering setups, but I imagine it probably has to do with constantly keeping the reservoir full or not giving the plant enough light, meaning the plant just can't take up all that moisture without enough light. I've gifted about 6 of these over the years to my friends who always say that they're not really good about caring for plants, but they can care for these. And they come with like a 90-day warranty. So if the plant doesn't arrive in its best shape or condition, you'll get a replacement. But there is a story behind this naked tree. I know this looks bad, but it's actually 100 times better than what it looked like a month ago. This wasn't a self-watering pot, but it actually got root bound and it needed a bigger pot size, but I didn't realize until it was too late. So now it's just in a regular pot with drainage holes. I'm kind of sad because now I need to monitor the moisture more frequently. This does go to show you that just because something is in a self-watering pot doesn't mean you can completely just forget about it. Still need to monitor the health of the plant, monitor the soil level, make sure it's getting enough light. But I definitely think there are just so many more pros to having things in self-watering setups because they're truly easy. Okay, I'm not gonna fill this reservoir because again, I'm giving this to my friend and I can't transport this in my car when it's full of water. But I am gonna clean this up a little bit. Now, I normally make my own DIY insecticidal soap spray, but I'm testing out this new Herbal pesticide. It's 3 organic ingredients, and it's completely safe around kids, pets, bees, and it's effective against things like mealybugs, thrips, spider mites. You can even pour it onto the soil to kill fungus gnat larvae too. I sprayed every inch of this baby down. My friend truly has PTSD from her mealybug, so I'm not gonna let that happen with this one. Eee, it's so pretty, I want to keep it. Okay, but I won't. Okay, on to watering the rest of my plants. I need to make more water. I probably have time to water about 1 or 2 plants before I need to put my kids in. This is my water recipe that I use across all my plants, both in soil and hydroponics. I add in liquid fertilizer, and this is powdered BTI to kill fungus gnats. I had this in liquid form, but this is actually 5 times more concentrated. And the last thing I added actually removes all the chlorine and chloramine inside the tap water. And since there's live bacteria in the solution, you should use this within 2 to 3 days. There's bubbles.
Mommy, get out of the way. All done.
All done?
All done. Touch the plant soon. I should touch this.
Such a typical older sister snitching on her younger brother. Alright, all done.
Done.
It's literally bedtime now. But we're going on a trip tomorrow, so I still need to water these plants. So my thing is to water deeply, but less often, rather than watering just a little bit and more frequently. I see it as like, imagine if you're thirsty, if you only drink like a cat full of water every hour, that would drive me insane. I'd rather just have a big jug of water and drink it right then and now. That's how I treat my plants when they're thirsty. I wait until soil is pretty much dried out, water it really, really deeply, and make sure all the soil is saturated. I can tell because this plant is very light. Plants like pothos are really easy to tell when they need water because they start curling and drooping. Other plants like succulents, string of hearts, you can tell by how turgid the leaves feel. So if the leaves feel soft and wilted, they're ready to water. These, I cannot really bend them. When they're super thirsty, I can almost fold these like a taco, and I can touch the soil and it's still moist up here, so not ready to be watered. And then I also use clear pots because I can easily tell by how dark everything is inside, the soil is still moist or not. Oh boy, it's been over a month, like a month and a half I think, since I've watered this ficus. Super light pot. You can see the leaves are curling down instead of being up like this. And the chopstick trick, see how dry this soil is. This chopstick is already dirty, so it's kind of hard to tell, but I can feel it. This stick is dry. And this one. Really need to get this on wheels. A lot of sources online say to water until it comes out the drainage holes, but I find that if you do that, the soil will not get fully wet. If I only water until it comes out of drainage holes, you'll see how little water it takes to go through the drainage holes. It's already dripping, but notice how dry everything still is. Like 90% of the soil is still completely dry. So I like to top and bottom water my plants essentially. I will water from the top and then let it also soak up all that excess water from the bottom too. And that way everything will be fully saturated. So there's a lot of water draining into this tub right now. I'm just gonna let this soak for the rest of the evening just to make sure it soaks all of that back up to the top. And the only exception I have to waiting until the soil's fully dried out rule is alocasias and calatheas, because I keep them consistently moist, essentially always watered. New day. house is a mess because we are scrambling to get out of here because we're traveling out of town. But I need to get my calatheas watered while I'm away. This one I just watered, it's super heavy. These two I just watered. Remaining 3, I'm gonna just keep them in here. I'm only gone for 3 days, so these will be fine sitting in water here like this. Beautiful? See you in a few days. Back after 4 days, let's see what the plants are like. All the calatheas have been sitting in this water, and there's new leaves coming in. They always look like rolled up cigars. Ah! These guys do not mind sitting in water. And coming downstairs, I actually didn't have time to take these out to drain, but they look totally fine. And you can see actually all the water is gone because the soil completely soaked it all up. Oh my gosh, it's so much heavier. Oh my gosh. Classic sign of a plant that is very thirsty and needs water. And this one too. I have no idea where my watering can is.
Okay, it's in the dollhouse.
It's in a dollhouse?
Yeah.
Oh my god, she was right. What in the world? I dropped my camera, the one I'm using to film right now. I dropped it and cracked the lens. Not the glass part, but like the plastic piece protecting it, and I'm dying. And it also broke off this attachment that allows me to see myself, to center myself in the shot, and so now I'm just shooting blind. Okay, back to the task at hand. I need to deliver that bird of paradise over to my friend's house. I almost feel like I shouldn't have unboxed it. I should have just taken it in all of its packaging to her house. But I didn't think about that ahead of time. So we'll see how this goes. Okay, so it's been at my house for a week now. I haven't watered it. I haven't filled the reservoir. All I did was spray and clean the leaves nicely with an herbal pesticide. It is nice and prepped and ready to go. I need to do something about the soil so it doesn't spill all in my car. I know myself. I feel like something is still gonna happen, even if I do all of this. I feel like that's pretty good. Oh. It's like 100 degrees. My friend is not even home, so I am literally breaking and entering into her house to deliver this freaking plant. Oh my gosh, it's moving in the back. This garbage truck is going into the same community and it's taking forever. Speaking of this community though, this is my friend's gated community and they have the strictest HOA that I've ever heard of. I supposedly did a California roll at the stop sign, and if you don't know what a California roll is, it's basically when you don't really stop at a stop sign, you just kind of slowly roll through it, which I don't do. I braked, maybe not as long as I should have. Anyway, my friend got a notice from her HOA a couple weeks later saying that she owes $300 for rolling that stop sign. She looked into it and it was my car. I had to go to Zoom court. This HOA had me wait in the Zoom court's waiting room for like an hour. Speed bump. Okay, so anyway, I was in this freaking Zoom court waiting room for an hour because they had dozens of people that they were ticketing. And I finally got in. They showed me this secretly recorded footage of me rolling the stop sign. But the problem is, and here's the stop sign right now, I'm gonna stop obnoxiously long. Oh my gosh, this car behind me just passed me. What a jerk. They showed me the secret footage and can't even see me rolling the stop sign because in that exact moment, another car crossed the intersection and blocked my car from the view. And I brought this up to the HOA board. I was like, well, technically you can't prove that I rolled that stop sign because you can't see my car. They were like, okay, well, we'll take that into consideration and you'll know the decision in a few weeks. In a few weeks, my friend was still charged $300. So obviously I paid for that ticket, but I was just like horrified that that was the process. And if dozens of people were in that waiting room for that one night, they've made thousands of dollars. And this is private gated community. Like, these are not cops giving me tickets. These are just like HOA board members who are other homeowners who are essentially just retired and doing this job out of the goodness of their own hearts. I don't know. I'm about to park and break into this house. All right, let's go. This neighbor's guard dog is about to kill me right now. Great. Soil still spilled. Not a soul is home. I'm literally sweating right now. It's so hot. Okay, let's take a look at this guy. So this is a plant that was devastated by mealybugs. It's so sad. And it's hard to tell, but I think I actually do still see some mealybugs here. Like, there's a speck here. It's so small, but I feel like that's a mealybug. Only one way to find out. Okay, it's definitely what used to be a mealybug. I don't think it's live. I'm not sure. I actually think these are like the dead body bits of what used to be a mealybug. I did find one. Ew! How heavy is this? Oh! Okay, this is pretty heavy. Oh my god. But I need to get this out of here. Oh, I see another one. I mean, the thing with mealybugs is you have to treat them every few days, and I don't live here, and so it's almost impossible to treat. Oh my gosh, it's so heavy. That's a problem for later. Need to find some cleaner. Ooh, snacks. And I'm not just randomly cleaning my friend's floor here. It's because this area needs to be disinfected in case there's any remnants of bugs here. Oh, so much better. And this is when I realized that my friend's Dyson is actually way better than mine, so I'm just testing it out. I'm such a good friend. And I'm pretty sure my friend doesn't have a watering can, so I just found a pot to fill this reservoir with. Oh my god. Oh my god. So the ingredients in this pesticide actually biodegrade in 5 days, so you don't need to wipe it off. And since this area had mealybugs, I'm just being extra careful. I have to say, it looks pretty good, if I do say so myself. Squeaky clean, reservoir is full. It is beautiful. And since I still had free reign at my friend's house, I decided to do some house chores. You can think of me as like the anti-Goldilocks. Folded clothes, did some laundry, hung the laundry, cleaned up the playroom, then sauntered over to the kitchen to make some lunch, and then decided I guess I'll just live here now.